Hey YouTube, welcome to Acoustic Corner. Technically not really a corner anymore. I used to sit there and put the camera there, but now I'm just using the camera that's already on top of the TV. So, yep, I was naughty and got myself another guitar. Well, I got it in a trade, so I didn't technically buy it. Does that compute? Yeah, so this is my 5th Terada guitar. It's made in the Japan Terada factory, who made they made Ibanez acoustics and Washburn acoustics and basically a fair whack of 80s Japanese acoustics by really any make could have been Terada. As far as you can tell that from the serial numbers kind of printed on the inside of the back of the block, and this one is 801111. So this guitar is an Ibanez V300 and the BS is brown sunburst, which it is. So it's not like a pure super high end one. It's a laminate top, I assume. I don't think it's any solid woods in it, but it's awfully good. And as I said, 1980 they made this model from 78 to 84 or whatever it was. So it's definitely this one. I kind of like the headstock which Ibanez use still to this day. I didn't realise it was as old as this. This would be one of the ones that, after the lawsuit thing, when Ibanez just happened to be using their own headstock. Maybe the same as an artist, is that right? But it's got very cool tuners on it. They're not particularly... It's got cool buttons on them, but they are the kind of, the enclosed back type. But that doesn't make them shit. Because they're made of good metal, they're like good quality ones of them. They're not like the ones you get, on the cheapest of guitars. If you look up on Temu, you can get a set for about £2, which are this kind of that idea where you've just got like a worm gear and then you can take the cover off the back, or whatever you call them. But it seemed to be holding, and they've lasted since 1980. So. So we've got a wee bit of cowboy cord fretware, which the frets are still they've never been stoned or leveled, so there's plenty of beef left in there to do it. It's kind of bothered. Basically I would just get my radius block thing and then just wet and dry sandpaper it down until you stop seeing the marks in it. Just lower the frets in the whole guitar and it'll be totally fine. But I mean, it's probably more annoying to most acoustic players rather than me, because I've been more like to say I'm now a bit more of a twiddler. Playing up here, I'm not relying so much. Just a slight overbit thing on the D. But I mean, I haven't done anything to the action disc. I think somebody may have been at it. Maybe sanded down the saddle or something, because it's pretty much perfect. I measured it. Was it a 1.75mm at the 12th fret? It's like, I think it even says that on the back of this wee measuring thing I've got. Yeah, okay, it's 2mm at the 12th fret. That's the 12th fret there. It's 1.75mm at the 12th fret. And if you look on what it actually says on the back of it, it says acoustic guitar, first string 1.5 to 2. So there you go. So it's been done, I think. But you know that as soon as you play an acoustic guitar and you try to play something up here, and you start going, oh, hold on, as you're bending the strings into the neck, what a difference that makes. Also, you can hear I've got it plugged into the orange amp, which you can't see, but trust me, it's just off screen. Yeah, it's got a Fishman. I know it's a Fishman because it says Fishman on it. Oh, it doesn't look particularly nice. No, it took me well within 2 hours to work out how to attach all the gubbins inside to the inside of the guitar. Hold on. Yeah, so it's been fitted later, the Fishman thing. Obviously, because they didn't exist in 1980, but see it. You get a volume and a tone, and then you can see just behind it there's black duct tape. Basically, the battery, it's just got dunk inside it, and all the wires, there seems to be a mass of wires that are all you can't get at because they're inside the guitar. That's why I managed to cut my hand there trying to get in to do this. And I was actually wondering last week, I don't know, I don't think I mentioned it, but in my head I was talking about it as like a big scratch, like pure bleeding all the way up the back of my hand. And I never noticed it at all until it was long enough. It was like scabs, and it was like, hey, what happened there? And it's like that's the only thing I can think of. I must have been inside an acoustic trying to do something, and that's why it's just, it scratched the top of my hand. I just don't. I'm just sitting there going, why would I have a big scratch? See remnants of it there. You can't really. It's like that length. What was it doing? So that was what it was doing. Yeah, so vintage Japanese Ibanez, here we come. I think when we come into the guitars, probably in this range, like the top of the range ones are probably fighting with Martins and Taylors. I would have thought, you know, the high spec one, this would be the entry level, or maybe not. It wouldn't be the cheapest one because it's got a sunburst finish. Maybe I don't know if it was the cheapest one. I wouldn't have thought so. I think you'd be able to get. There'd maybe be a, what's I say? This was a 300. There might have been like a 100 or a 200, and I'd imagine if you went to like a 3000 or a 1000, I bet you it's all solid woods and stuff like that. Probably looks kind of the same, but this really does have what it does have going for it is made in Japan, so it's built amazingly. It was made 50 years ago or 45 years ago, so everything's 45 years old and it's survived and it's intact, and there's really not any major damage. There's some scuffing around about the sound hole from a strummer, strangely in there. I don't know how you. Oh, maybe would you maybe be picking somehow like that? I don't know. And there's quite a lot of dents on the back of the neck, right on the ridge. It's almost like a V-shaped neck, but it's just like it's obviously been leant against, you know, like if it was knocked against the side of a table or a chair for most of its life. But it's one of those ones where there's so many lumps in it, like my wee area is TSB bass. There's so many lumps in it, that you can't. It just feels like it's a textured surface, rather than being, you know, if you had one of these dents, it'd be like smooth. Oh, there's a dent. Smooth. This is just dent. It just feels like it's a textured surface. I've kind of got this plugged in. I can actually loop with this one. That was me having a bit of a jam last night, so I'm sure I turned. That means I left that plug on all night. Oops. What was I playing? Like, listen, now you can hear what it sounds like just when the guitar's not in the room. There's always a slight problem when you've got an acoustic, because quite a lot of volume actually comes from the guitar. I'll just turn the guitar off and just play it live, you'll hear it. So I think for acoustic corner, I should probably have a better mic set, but maybe if I just pointed that at the sound tool, you get a better. Turn it off from that. Huh? This really smells of polish. I'm getting wafts of it. I think it's I don't know. No, it's definitely its pledge. Yesterday I was thinking it was smell of mold or something, but I think it's been pledged at some point, and you can see a reflection of me looking at me and you and me, and in the body of the guitar. That's how shiny it is. That's probably why it's so shiny. I didn't really particularly. Am I playing it the other way? Am I playing it left-handed in the reflection? Aye. These guitars, this is like the Dreadnought style, which I played in that wee Tirada one I bought last year. Made in the same factory as this. 6 years before it. I was enjoying the fact that it was smaller and not as loud. So it's not as loud as this. I mean, this is like, for me, I'm just thinking about that. It's very much, maybe because I keep playing that D, it's a very Neil Young-y guitar. I think it's like a big, loud troubadour out there making as much noise as you can, playing gigs on a stage without miking it up kind of thing is what I think a Dreadnought is really for. And there is something nice about the bigness of it. They're a wee bit punishing of mistakes, I think, just in general, just more so on a guitar like this than the smaller ones, which are kind of a little bit more forgiving. These are kind of... It's actually very like my original Yamaha, like dimension-wise. It does have a slight V-neck, which I do quite like, though. And I suppose, how am I justifying having this? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Never say never. It's quite nice though, because it's a little bit. The thing is that I don't know. It's not really showing up in the video, but see when you see this guitar in person, you just know it's it's either a very old one or a very expensive one. If you saw this on the wall in Guitar, it would be $3,000, or it would be an old Japanese one. It wouldn't be a modern guitar that had this look going on about it. Even if you got like whatever it's a copy of, probably a couple of grand for the Gibsons. Someone said it was a J45. Is that a Gibson or a Martin? Whatever, that'll be a couple of grand. But it won't look as old as this. You can't fake old, or you can, but it doesn't look real. This is one of those ones, when you get like a guitar and it's just immediately there's absolutely not, with one look at it. As soon as I saw it in person, you're just like that. Yep, this is totally genuine. This isn't, without looking to see what it said on it and serial numbers and all that. You just know exactly what it is. It's like, yep, there's too many of the signs that just say, yep, this is an 70s or 80s Japanese guitar. That's it. There's no. I would like, I don't know, kind of tempted to think about putting a pickup in it, which I don't know. It's got the piezo, which is fine, but I'm never really going to be in an acoustic band playing and singing state. But I kind of like that. I've been putting I did it that wee Fender guitar. I put a Strat neck pickup in it. Just kind of dremeled it a wee bit to take a Strat neck pickup there with an output. And to be honest, I think it sounded, for me playing in here through an electric guitar amp, it sounded better than this piezo does into an electric guitar amp. I don't think that would necessarily work if I was, on stage or playing through like a proper PA or anything like that. But through a guitar amp, the magnetic pickup I think sounds much better than the piezo does. But I mean, you could have both. But I don't think you could have both coming out the same jack socket. I would like to do that. There's also a bit there. You can see it. I'm getting the light hit off it, right? You can't really. There, see there? It's like a piece of tortoiseshell plastic that's just been stuck on it. And if you look at it from the inside, it looks like there's a hole for what was maybe a volume control, or possibly someone's tried to put the strap button on there, drill the hole, and then it's just gone punk, and then the strap button's not attached, and I'm going, oh shit, I've just drilled the hole, I should put it onto that bit there instead. Maybe it's me, or somebody drilled a hole because it had some previous pickup system. But I don't see any indication that it had, like a sound hole pickup. You would imagine if even if it had only been on a couple of times, anyway, one of those clip on. Oh, actually, I've actually got one of. I've got one of those. I've got an Artec one, the one that sits in the sound hole. I wonder if it's a magnetic pickup. But I mean, you can't mix magnetic and piezo. That'd be cool. The reason I never liked that, I had it on my. I've got a Yamaha 12 stringer, which just should sell. Fucking amazing thing. I might actually bring it out for Acoustic Corner with its. I can use the three. It's got a 3-way input Artec thing that I put in, the pickup unit. So you've got a piezo, you've got a microphone actually attached to the back of the box, like a wee gooseneck mic that you just point at the strings, and then it's got like a clip-in magnetic one that sits in the sound hole. And I always found with the magnetic ones kind of joined with a wee headphone socket type thing, so you can take it out. And I always found when I was playing the 12 stringer, it took away a huge chunk of the sound of the guitar. Maybe I think because more so than the 12 stringer I've ever noticed in any other guitars. I've not noticed it putting the strap pickup tight in against here, because you're losing a wee, like a bit the size of your finger. But this is like a big thing that takes up that, so it's like you're covering over a third of the sound hole with a pickup. And especially I think with the high frequencies with the extra strings on a 12 stringer, they just don't come through. So I mean, it's like, what the fuck's wrong with the guitar? Why is it sounding shit? Why is it sounding shit? Oh, I'll take that pickup out. That's why it's like, it's that much of a difference. Or do I just leave this the way it is and play it? Is this better than the wee Tirada? Oh no, dare I say it? But they're both fighting the same thing. Tirada's a wee bit older, and it's a wee bit smaller. Which would be my camping guitar or my throwing about in the car? There's something about being louder. That's the thing. See, if you were playing acoustics, like a couple of you and your pal were going to acoustics, and you had the wee Tirada and you had this would have more. You could kind of batter away at the wee Tirada relatively loud, and then this would you'd be able to play lead over the top because it's much louder. Or is that the thing where you do and it's got a different tone to it? Is that when you're doing your Tenacious D type, acoustic duo, one of you should be playing a smaller guitar? Because I mean, if they're amped up anyway, it doesn't matter whether you're quieter or louder. But if one of you is playing, a dreadnought, the other one play the folky one. But this is just one of those ones that's a nice guitar. The only thing that you wouldn't know about, but it's that the way that the battery was kind of like a wee pouch, and then it was just banging about in there, and I don't know how it was meant to be attached, but I've just kind of duct taped it onto the inside. If you imagine it, just like duct tape, battery box, duct tape there. I don't know how long it will stay there, but I just would have thought there was a better way. I feel like it's encumbered, even though I think that's completely in my head. What these sort of guitars are meant for, and open chords. Which is what it's spent the last 45 years doing, going by the frets. The volume's hardly on, it goes up way louder than that. Glad I did that at the end of the video. Rock on. Telly Tuesday tomorrow, because it was going to be a Telecaster video. I'm about to go and see if just about to phone and see if Bob's about, so I can actually give him back his pedals and his guitar that I've had for since before Christmas anyway. That's last year. Rock on. See you tomorrow for Telly Tuesday.